Hello everyone, welcome back to Filmbox. I am the host, Tyler Edwards, and today I will be going over my top 10 films. Now, I understand that this might not be breaking news or anything too exciting, but I figured since my channel is relatively new to YouTube, I would take this time to go over the top 10 movies that, well, not necessarily the top 10 movies ever made in my opinion, but rather the 10 films that I just love to watch. And they're just the 10 films that I just adore wholeheartedly. And you can disagree with this list, or if you agree, just leave me one of these and you can like. Feel free to comment, subscribe. All that we appreciated to have this channel grow. But without further ado, I will now go into talking about these 10 films that I just adore. Okay, so coming in at the last spot, we have Ghostbusters, 1984 Ghostbusters, directed and written by Ivan Reitman. I just love this movie. I don't care what season I'm watching it, whether it's in the summer, fall, on Halloween, what have you. It's just one of my favorite comedies. I think Bill Murray's great in it. I think it's probably my favorite Bill Murray role. Of course, Harold Ramis is great as well. The whole cast is just great together. Everybody has great chemistry, and it felt like they caught lightning in a bottle, which I know, like with the sequel Ghostbusters 2, I enjoy, but not nearly as much as I enjoyed the first one. And then Ghostbusters 2016, I do not enjoy at all. And it's not because of the female actresses. I think that they were just utilized poorly in a script that didn't serve their comedic talent. And I do think that that film was a lost cause. When I first saw it, I got a few laughs, but then when I saw it a second time, it wasn't great. Anyways, back to the good Ghostbusters movie. No, I love this movie. It's one of my favorite comedies of all time, and I love this kind of late 70s, early 80s, I guess, style of humor, or this kind of, I don't know, this sarcastic kind of laid-back humor. That I just enjoy, and I love this movie wholeheartedly. But yeah, that's my number 10 spot, goes to Ghostbusters. For my number 9, I didn't realize it'd be this low on my list, but it's Goodfellas. It's Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas. Now, I love this movie because I can watch this movie, again, like Ghostbusters or any of the movies on this list. I can watch this movie any season and just be in love with it, or if I see it on TV, any scene that's on, I will watch it. And I just really love Goodfellas. It's just, I think it's probably it's definitely not my favorite Scorsese film. That'll be coming up shortly, but it's definitely one of the top 2 for me. Now, given that I am younger, there are still quite a few Scorsese films that I've yet to watch. I still need to watch Raging Bull and Taxi Driver, sorry. But I feel like, and a few more others of his works, but I do think Goodfellas is a great movie. I enjoyed all the performances. Robert De Niro in full force. You have Ray Liotta, and I think his best role ever. I don't think I've seen him in many other movies, and I do think he was just, everybody was top notch. And, as a kid seeing Joe Pesci in Home Alone, and then just seeing him when I get older in Goodfellas, it's night and day, and I loved him in Goodfellas. I really enjoy this movie, and it's definitely a rewatchable film, and one that I always enjoy seeing. So yeah, number 9 is Goodfellas. Okay, coming in at number 8 is the only Marvel Cinematic Universe movie I put on the list, and that'd be Infinity War. Now, with Infinity War, the reason why I like it is I think out of all the MCU films, this one has the best pacing. It feels like every moment on screen is necessary to build and set up and build and set up. Because one, this movie has to juggle all the heroes. And I think that Joe and Anthony Russo did a great job with the pace. I know they didn't write it, but I think directing-wise, I think they made a really sharp movie that could have easily have been killed in the pacing. The pacing could have very well killed this movie. And I think the fact that they did a good job pacing it out, and that, the CGI still holds up for the most part, and I just think the film looks really good. it's solid. I mean, the ending is sad, and I assume I'm just gonna go ahead and put spoilers. I'll put that on in the title just so everybody knows spoilers. But you know, the ending is just crushing, and I remember seeing this in the theaters and being crushed, and then just feeling like, oh crap, now I gotta wait another year, you know, until this comes out. But yeah, Infinity War is just one of my favorite movies, and it's definitely my favorite MCU film, and I do enjoy rewatching it because I feel like just the pacing of it alone is really good. And also, like, just seeing all the characters interact off each other was really good. I think everybody had great chemistry together, and I think it was just lovely. So yeah, that would be Infinity War coming in at number 8. Coming in now at number 7 is my favorite Martin Scorsese film, and the reason why it's not higher, any Scorsese's higher on my list, is just personal preference. But yeah, it's Wolf of Wall Street. As a young guy, I know that's probably typical because most guys my age love Wolf of Wall Street. And I will say, yeah, it's iconic as all hell. It's fucking iconic. It's everything about this movie. It's just like, you know, the amount of college guys I've seen model themselves after Jordan Belfort. And just this crazy kind of coke-fueled movie, even though I don't think anybody did coke on the set. It was crushed B vitamins, for Christ's sake. But this movie has just got so much. And yeah, it's a 3-hour movie, and it's mostly dialogue, but it's just tremendous. It keeps you enthralled, and it's just a really good movie. Like, I enjoy watching it, but I do feel like sometimes, though, like, towards the end, I'm like, all right, when are we going to wrap up? After, I think... Towards the end, when I say towards the end, I mean once he wrecks the car or when he's getting sober, I think that's when I kind of start mentally checking out of the movie, because I'm like, all right, let's wrap this up. Let's see him get his comeuppance for being the douchebag that he's been. And yeah, I will say, though, the majority of this movie is a really fun, solid ride. But yeah, I do think that, though, that like towards the last 45 minutes of the film, it does kind of lose me a little bit, but not a lot. But it does kind of lower my interest, but it is a movie that I do enjoy watching when I do rewatch it. But yeah, so that is Wolf of Wall Street coming in at number 7. And at number 6, and rounding off the back half of this list, is Animal House, National Lampoon's Animal House. Now, being that I am currently a sophomore in college, I love Animal House. I have Bluto on my water bottle, and I even have the Bluto Funko Pop that released last year. I also have the college sweatshirt. I don't feel like walking out of frame and going to get it. Yes, that is Ron Swanson on the sticker. If you like Parks and Rec, leave a comment. We'll talk about it later. Anyways, back to Animal House. It's one of those those dumb screwball comedies. Like, it's stupid. The plot is pretty dumb. It's just guys in a fraternity being dumb guys in a fraternity and getting into adventures and almost being expelled, and just, it's a truly fun time that I just kind of turn my brain off and just have a good time. And I don't see why that's a big problem. You know, like, I love film, and yeah, I like having a dumb comedy like this on my top 10 list, because I'm like, not everything on my top 10 list needs to be a think piece or an art statement. I do like having this dumb fucking comedy from the 70s that just, by today's standards, would never have been made. I think the closest thing we would have gotten to Animal House nowadays would have been in 2014 when Seth Rogen made Neighbors. But I think Animal House is just one of those great college comedies that I think a lot of people are forgetting, and it's John Belushi's most iconic film role other than the Blues Brothers. And I fucking love Animal House. Like, it's just one of those movies that I love. It's near and dear to my heart, and I just love it. Like, there's not a moment of this movie that I hate. I love Animal House. And yes, that means that Animal House, rounding out the bottom 5, coming in at number 6. And now we move on to the top 5 of my top 10 movie list. Okay, so coming in at number 5 is 2016's The Founder. I kind of forget when that movie came out. I remember when I first saw this movie, it wasn't in the theater. I was curious about the movie, and my aunt got it for me, and I was at this kind of summer camp, and I watched the movie on a portable DVD player. And for the whole 2 hour long movie, I was invested. And I think it's mostly due to Michael Keaton giving a great performance as Ray Kroc, and of course saying some of these other, like B.J. Novak in a role other than The Office. Same goes for Nick Offerman, who plays one of the McDonald brothers. I think he plays Dick McDonald. And the movie itself is just, for some reason, I really love that movie. And it just feels like a comfort movie. Like, I can just turn it on and feel comfortable and relaxed, no matter what season. Like, I know I've been saying that for a lot of these films, but, like, just, this is a movie that just, when I think of, I just like to turn on, kind of like a late night. I just turn it on, I sit back, and I will watch the whole thing. If I am trying to do homework, I won't. I'll be glued, my eyes will be glued to the television set as I just watch this great movie. And I will say, out of all these films, it's probably, it's not low, but like, and it's not a bad film, but it's just, I think it's a movie that genuinely goes underlooked. Like, not many people, or not underlooked, overlooked. That's what I meant. I know how to read, I promise. But, but no, I do think The Founder is very overlooked and very underrated. I feel like not many people know about this movie, and I feel like it's a bit of a shame. This movie's really good, and I do feel like you're missing out. So if you do get a chance to watch it, check it out. I think it's one of my favorite Michael Keaton performances. And I think he does a good job in the movie. And yeah, so that would be The Founder, rounding at number 5. Coming in at number 4 is my absolute favorite Bond movie. Bond film, Bond movie. I was about to say one or the other, but I said Bond film movie. So my favorite Bond film movie is Casino Royale. Yes, this is Daniel Craig's first outing as James Bond, and it was the second Bond movie I've ever saw. The first one being Skyfall. And then I was like, oh, well, before I really dove deep into my love of James Bond, Casino Royale, when I watched it, I was like, this movie's amazing. And when I was in the 6th grade when Skyfall came out, and then when I saw Casino Royale, about a few months later, I bought it on DVD and I watched it. Oh my God, I was like, whoa. And it's probably my favorite Craig. It's definitely my favorite Craig movie. I mean, Skyfall's number 2, but this is definitely my favorite Craig Bond. And I just love the story, and I do think it's tragic that him and Vesper were just like, it was a love that was destined to fail. But I love just Bond becoming Bond in this movie and showing real character growth, which I think for most Bond movies, it's just like, he's cool the whole way through. And it was nice to see him kind of like work his way up to the name's Bond, James Bond, and then da-da-da, can't do this because of copyright. And, sorry, just a dumb little joke there, but you get the idea. Like, the Bond theme kicks in and everything is just so beautiful. Sorry, I know I take water breaks. I'll figure a way to edit this out, and if I don't, sorry. Anyways, I think Craig, I don't know if he's my number 1 Bond, but he's definitely higher in that list. And I might have to do a top 10 Bond movies sometime down the line, maybe after they release Bond 25 or No Time to Die eventually. But no, Casino Royale, I loved. The action is great. I think Martin Campbell, out of the 2 he directed, which was this and Pierce Brosnan's GoldenEye, I think I prefer this to GoldenEye. I don't know. I just think that the story is better than that one. And overall, I just really enjoy it. It's just a Bond movie that I love. It's a Bond movie that it sticks with me the most. And it's just, if I want to watch Bond, that's the adventure I choose. And if you have a favorite Bond, you can leave that in the comments below. Let me know. Who's your favorite Bond and all that jazz. But anyways, now we're really getting in the nitty-gritty as I do my top 3. So, coming in at number 3 is The Godfather 2. Now, The Godfather 2, it's about 3.5 hours long, but I don't care. I know a lot of people might not like this one as much as the first one. I don't necessarily. I love both, but I do think that this one, it's not that it's a weaker film, it's just because of how long it is, as well as it's telling 2 it does tell two stories very well, both the fall, kind of the fall of Michael Corleone, and the rise of Vito as him becoming as Vito becoming the Godfather. And I think that both of them are done very, very well. And Al Pacino, this is probably peak Al Pacino for me. Like, Pacino in the Godfather movies are at its peak. I mean, not Godfather 3. I think everybody was kind of off their game in Godfather 3. But Godfather 2, like, it's such like the story with him and Kay, and like how he thought that she had a miscarriage, but she had an abortion, and just her saying that this, it's unholy, like this marriage is unholy, and just like these such iconic lines from these films, like I know it was you, Fredo, and just all these different things, just like Fredo's betrayal, how Michael treats Tom Hagen, and then seeing Vito alongside a young Tezio and I know it's Bruno Kirby's the actor who played Clemenza. Sorry, Bruno Kirby didn't play him in the first Godfather, but he did play him in the second one in the flashbacks. But no, it was great seeing like these young guys become these legends from the first film, and it was just. It's just the movie that is just so rich in atmosphere and character and plot. And I think it's one of Coppola's best, absolutely by a landslide. But I just absolutely adore this movie, and I feel bad for putting it at number 3. But I think there's just two movies that really edge this one out. Not to say that these next two movies are better. I mean, I think one is definitely better than the other, but. The next one is probably just going to be number 2 is going to be more of a fun pick, but so Godfather 2 at number 3, that's not going to be confusing at all, but so Godfather 2 coming in at number 3, it's kind of lower ranking than I think I should, considering how much I'm just gushing about it, but I think that these next two films I just love a little bit more for different reasons. All right, like I just teased briefly in number 3, number 2 is a fun pick, and it's Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Why? Throughout high school and into college, you want to be like Ferris. I have on my laptop a Ferris Bueller Cameron Fry sticker, along with many others, for things and shows and bands that I enjoy. But Ferris Bueller, it captures that teen spirit, that like high school teen spirit of just like taking a day off, pulling the ultimate, not prank, but pulling the ultimate like day off, and like doing all these crazy things that probably wouldn't be able to happen all in one day, but damn, I love watching this movie when like during the summer or during like school, especially during school. Like if I'm watching this movie during the semester, I will just like the next day I'm gonna emulate that. Like if the weather's nice, and there have been times where I've done that, where I've called in sick to my professors or I emailed them, and because like I checked the weather and it's like 70 degrees and in February, and I'm like, how am I supposed to go to school on a day like this? And I just really just kind of like it's. The character of Ferris is just so evocative. It's like James Bond. Guys want to be him, and girls want him, and guys want to be him. And I think Ferris Bueller is very much that way. And I think both guys and girls want to be like Ferris. They want to get away. And the older I've gotten, the more I realize I'm not necessarily like Ferris of like being able to pull this off. I'm more like Cameron. I'm very kind of not neurotic, but I'm very just kind of like uptight sometimes, and I forget that, hey, I need a day off. And if I do have a day off, then I just leave, like I don't show up, and I just kind of go do things around Nashville, and it's just fun to kind of, I don't know, I love this movie because when I saw it, I was younger. I was younger in high school. I was in, I think, sophomore year of high school, so about 4 or 5 years ago, and I knew it was an iconic movie, but then when I watched it, I realized how iconic it was. And again, it just resonated with me so much, and I just freaking loved it. Just the whole thing was just beautiful. Like, it's not necessarily a beautiful film. I just think it's not a screwball comedy. I just think it's a really well done comedy by John Hughes. Definitely my favorite John Hughes movie, and I think it's one of my favorite '80s films. In fact, it's probably my favorite peak kind of '80s Brat Pack movie. I just really love Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and that's why it's my number 2. It's just because of how much that I get out of it personally. And if you like it, or if you like any of these movies, just fucking leave a like, comment down below which one of these is your favorite. Tell me what your favorite film is if it's nothing like on this list. That's fine. I love to hear more about people's idea of film, and I do think that that's something that I love to hear from people about. So yeah, just leave a comment and we'll talk about, I'll try to get to it, and if I can't, I can't. I'm sorry, but yeah, we'll try to get to that. And I feel like I've been going on a little too long, but now we're really about to get into a film that I can talk about for hours. Okay, coming in at number 1 on my top 10 favorite films, it's Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather. The film is... it's truly a masterpiece. And I know I'm not the only one who thinks that. And I do think that this movie is just the directing, the writing, the acting, hearing all the weird stuff. Like, yes, you can tell Brando's reading from cue cards, but I don't care, because it all ebbs and flows. The whole story, the pacing, the characters, just everything is so rich, and just you're just immediately sucked into this world when the movie opens up at a wedding, and that's one of the most intimate things ever, is a wedding. It's this group of people that are all close together because they're either family or they're really close friends. So the fact that, you're being invited, it feels like you're invited into this kind of close space, and it's just great. And of course, the iconic introduction to the Godfather, Vito, and I'll make him an offer he can't refuse. It's just great. And oh my God, the lines in this movie, like, I can't, I'll make you an offer I can't refuse. Leave the gun, take the cannolis. No, Abalone. No, I'm kidding. The part where Abalone blows up the car, that's just that little joke there. My bad. I guess that really blew up in my face. Like Abalone in the car. Moving on. So no, it is really cool to see Michael Corleone at the beginning of the film being this, I'm not like my family. He wasn't. He was this guy who was in the military, and then because his father got shot and was almost gunned down in the streets and almost died, and Michael also got mistrusted. Like, a police chief beat him, or like kind of beat him up because he was Michael Corleone. And I think seeing Pacino for the first time kind of sit back in the chair and cross his leg, and then as he just kind of like sits there and then eventually starts speaking, and just the way we see Michael go from this war hero to this hardened criminal in just 2.5 hours, maybe 3. It's amazing, and it's just one of those great instances of character development, and the story's really good. The locations are beautiful. Everything is shot really well. James Caan as Sonny is always amazing. I really hated when he died, because I was like, damn, I really enjoyed this character, and I just hate that he's gone. Robert Duvall as Tom Hagen is great as always, and of course when he had to meet Jack Waltz in Hollywood, and the horse cartoon, and then they killed the horse sat in the bed, and the scream, all that is iconic, as well as some of the other things in this movie, like Sonny being murdered at the toll booth. It's iconic. It's not great. Michael in Italy, it's iconic. Vito in The Office, it's iconic. Everything about this movie is just iconic, and I just love this movie, and I just really appreciate it and I think I get so much enjoyment out of it. And because I get so much enjoyment out of this movie, it's why I have to have it as my number one, because of how much I just enjoy watching this movie. And if I had to show this to somebody who hasn't watched movies, I would. This is just clearly one of my favorite movies, and I love it so much. But yes, with all of that out of the way, I cleared all 10 movies. And again, what are some of your favorite movies? Leave a comment down below. Leave a like. Subscribe if you enjoy this. If you'd enjoyed this video, please just like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for checking me out here at Filmbox. Again, my name is Tyler Edwards, and thank you all for watching.